Hello and welcome to Our Dads Are Brothers Shark Week special. I'm Nathan Tracy along with my co-host.
That Tracy. Today is the seventh day of Shark Week, and we watched Trailer Park Shark from 2017. This was directed by Griff First, has no budget or box office, and a 42% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, is this the first TV movie we're doing
I believe so. We've done a lot
for
of
Shark Week?
we've done a lot of like straight to streaming low budget ones, but this is the first
Yeah, this is
straight to
a
TV, I think.
sci-fi original.
It stars Thomas Ian Nicholas and Tara Reid from American Pie. Tara Reid, we'll get to. I have a note about that. And then Dennis Haskins is the bad guy, and he played the principal on Saved by the Bell.
Oh, nice. Yeah, when you told me, you're like, I couldn't. It took me a second to figure out who that is. I was like, I have no idea. Yeah, you want to do a quick synopsis?
I would love to. This movie was balls to the wall action. Basically, Thomas Ian Nicholas, he lives in a trailer park. His name's Rob, and he works with his uncle Jeff, and everyone in the trailer park is super poor, and they all have to pay money to their landlord, who's played by Dennis Haskins. And I don't remember his character's name. It's like Decanard or something like that. It's something really weird. But he wants to destroy the trailer park so that he can build something there or something. I don't know. He hires some henchmen. They go and cause an explosion, and it breaks the levee and it floods the trailer park, and everyone's trailers get washed up. And then it releases a shark into the trailer park, and the shark is electrified and it attacks, and they have to fight back and save their trailer park. It was a really fun movie, I thought. I really liked this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was bad whatsoever. We'll get to the ratings later, but it was pretty okay.
Well, jumping straight into notes, can I get a yee-haw for that opening scene? It was
Right?
some straight up country music, some twang.
My first note is now that's a trailer park. Because
It was
holy
it
cow.
was fun. Yeah,
I've
it's
never
they said trailer park. It's literally people living in campers and RVs.
think of like the worst possible white trash redneck little camper party, and this is it.
Yeah.
Like literally their shirts. One dude's t-shirt was just like ripped up and dirty, and he had like a little squirrel on his shoulder or something. Like now that's a trailer park.
It's just so funny that it was just like campers and mobile homes. I
Well,
mean, motor homes.
you're used to seeing luxury trailer parks. That's a trailer park down in Louisiana.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like Trailer Park Boys where they live in like actual trailers.
Yeah, that's Canada. No, this is Louisiana.
The movie starts with Rob and his Uncle Jeff, and they're on the lake, and Uncle Jeff gets attacked by a shark. And I thought this scene was so fucking funny because he's sitting there and it starts raining, and the rain is fake CGI rain
Oh my
over
gosh.
top of him.
Are you sure it was? To me, it looked like they were straight up just like with a
Well, hold
hose.
on.
Okay.
That's how it started. It was fake CGI as
Oh
he was
yeah, and
just
it
sitting on the
came
lake.
a
And
blink
then
of an eye. There it was.
yeah, and then as he was like driving down the river a little bit, it looked like they were just standing there with a hose spraying him as he moved on the lake because you could see the rain like shift from side to side on the screen.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
So stupid. We get a flashback to like earlier in the day, and it's just Rob walking around this trailer park of like 10 campers,
Yeah.
and he pours a beer or opens a bottled beer with his Uncle Jeff, and he gets so much beer on his hand, it just spills all over the place. But he says that he doesn't want to live in the trailer park his whole life. And you know what? I can relate to that
I understand. Yeah,
as a
so he's
metaphor.
walking around the house. So Rob's walking around the trailer park, like you said, and everyone's like, "Oh, hey Rob!" Like he's like the cool guy, the respectable one. Everyone's friends with them, even though they all get in their own little scuffle fights, all their little tussles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a guy
and
with like cooking bacon or pork or something, some weird stuff. I don't know.
ribs, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Circles back to that later in the movie. One of my notes right there is private time. He like bangs on a dude's trailer door, and he big dude comes out and just as on he goes, "That's private time. It's private time. It's private time." And he's like, "Yeah." And he walks away.
Yeah, one girl offers him and his girlfriend Jolene a threesome.
Yeah.
Thought that was kind of funny. I got a funny line for you. As Rob and Jeff were driving to the lake, which sets up the opening scene again, where Jeff gets attacked by the shark. They're talking about like cables going under the water or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, is your cable gonna reach under the water?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, my cable's huge or whatever." He goes, "You know what they say about a guy with big words, don't you?" He goes, "They're compensating for the size of their cable."
Yeah, because they were talking about the cable. He's like, "Yeah, I've got plenty of cable." And he goes, "Well, I don't think your cable's gonna be long enough." He's like, "Bet you $5 it is." And then he stretches the cable out and he goes, "Oh, it was long enough. Yeah, I owe you $5." He goes, "Yeah, keep your money." But they kept doing some flip flops, like they're over there doing their cable thing in the water, and then they'd flip back and show the something that's going down at the trailer park. And there was a guy chasing another guy, and they're running real fast, and the guy in the back just reaches his foot up while running and kicks out the other dude's ankle, and he rolls. And I thought that was hilarious.
That was pretty good. Yeah, and during that part where they're doing like the montage of all the different characters, they show Haskins as the bad guy, and he's literally just doing like Boss Hog from Dukes of Hazzard. He's dressed in like a white suit. He owns the town. He wants to get people out of the town so that he can build whatever he wants to build. Like it's the
Yep,
same. He's just doing Boss Hog. Everyone
pretty
calls
much.
him Boss.
Yeah,
I thought it was very funny. As we continue with this opening scene, which I'm noticing a lot of the first part of my notes are from this opening stretch here, but I wrote, "My goodness, the CGI rain looks bad. If you're not even going to get the actors wet, what's the fucking point?" There's a part where it's when the bad guys are making the explosion that causes the shark to get loose. It starts raining on everybody, and they're all just sitting there on a boat, and their clothes aren't even getting wet, and it was ridiculous.
yeah, yeah. So it shows the bad guys. They pull up with a van with a bomb in it, and he goes, "How long should I set it for?" And he goes, "I don't know. However long you think it takes you to run away." He goes, and he's like 4 minutes. So he sets it. They start running away. He goes, "Wait, the license plate." Shark movies and license plates go hand in hand. You ever realize?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So
there's
he's
even this isn't necessarily a shark movie, but even in Finding Nemo, the Bruce eats a shark license plate.
yeah. So then he's like, "Oh no, the license plate." And the other guy does this over dramatic freak out. He's like, "Ugh, ugh," and he's like throwing his hands up and down for like it seemed like 10 seconds. And he goes, "Go get it." And he goes and gets it up. And then 3 seconds left, and that dude just explodes. And then the levee breaks. And then all of a sudden, my next note, this might not fit exactly right there. No, because dude shows up with a jet ski and sees the dude on video camera, and then it's like this whole little thing.
Yeah, and Uncle Jeff plugging a cable in underwater so that they can steal power from a wind turbine for the like their trailer park. And the shark attacks him. So like they plug in the cable and then the shark bites the cable and causes fire. It starts a big fire and the shark gets electrocuted. And so I wrote, OMG, the shark bit the cable and started a fire. Movie over. 4 out of 5 stars. Then the next scene is them going somewhere else. It's like a wide shot of them and they're going driving somewhere. And I went, oh, that wasn't the end?
Yeah, and then it's like some crazy like whatever going on over here, and then I assume because of the budget or they didn't have the resources, but all of a sudden the trailer park's flooded and everyone's on the roofs of the trailers.
Yeah.
Like they were not going to show how it flooded. They weren't going to show people panicking to get up there. Just now they're on their
Well,
rooftops.
the levee broke. They didn't
Yeah,
show it, but they said it at
but it'd be
least.
so much cooler if they showed it. Like you know
That's
what I'm talking
true.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just like literally I
And
was
there
like
was a lot more trailers
I literally thought
than they
it
showed. There was like
skipped.
3.
I literally thought it skipped. I rewound. I was like, did my movie just freak out? Like that was the weirdest, stupidest cutscene I've ever seen. Where it just like all of a sudden, I was like, oh
Yeah, they probably just didn't have the budget.
yeah,
They spent it all on the fake CGI rain. Also, Soggy Meadows, well, after it gets flooded, there's 3 of them sitting on their roofs. I thought this scene was fucking hilarious.
I'm
So,
gonna
like,
rewind you real quick.
yeah,
So after his uncle gets eaten by the shark, and his jet ski gets eaten, he finds
yes.
like
Oh my God,
he
the
finds a
shark
raft
eating
boat.
the jet ski was
Oh my
amazing.
gosh, he's like literally just like gnawing on the corner of it, and
Yeah.
it's like fake as heck. But he finds like this raft, this inflatable raft, and so he's going and he finds one chick all by herself, and she's got like a motorboat, and he goes over there, and the shark bites the motorboat and starts fire, and she literally panics. She's yelling at the fire to go out. She goes, go out, and she's blowing on it. and like waving her hands at it, jumps in the water, and then like he rescues her, and the boat explodes or whatever. I don't remember. This is the note I have is about her right here. She like sits up and he goes, "How are you?" And she goes, and she's like, "I'm okay." Boom! Shark jumps out of the water and just off like off with her heads, but like her whole body. Like it was cool. It was fast.
Yeah, I really liked things like that. It was
Yeah.
just really quick little.
My next note, I think, is exactly what you're saying. So go back to those three people.
Yeah, so there's three people sitting on the top of their campers. You got Rufus there, and the other guy with the ribs, whose name I do not remember. And then they had Jolene, who is actually Rob's girlfriend. And I thought this part was very funny because so like the shark, Rufus shows up with his horse Duke, and he like shows up to get to his camper, and they're like in the water or whatever, and he gets on top, and then Jolene's like, "There's a shark," and he takes his gun out and just starts spinning in all directions, shooting wildly into the air. And then he almost shoots Jolene. And I was like, this guy is just some inept cowboy. Well, and his horse teleports during this scene because he rides up to his camper with on his horse, and his horse even swims. Then they show his horse off on the shore, and then they show his horse like going through the water. But then the next time they show it, it's standing in shallow water again. I was like, this is a weird horse. The shark ends up eating the horse, which is named Duke, and Rufus is all sad because he's like, my Dookie, my Duke.
So my note is actually about the other group of people. It
Gotcha.
was it was the
I
town.
have a note about them too.
Was it the town slut? Was it Symphony? I think it was.
I
Maybe.
don't remember any of their names.
I'm cheating. I don't know either.
The
Yeah.
the one chick is super skinny and with this guy who's just like massive.
Yeah.
And
So
then
I believe
the
it
other
was
chick,
Daisy, Wyatt, and then the other chick was Symphony with a
yeah,
C. And
Daisy at one
Wyatt
point is
lost
gets
his
called
dog,
a dirty liberal. I thought that was very funny.
and Wyatt's helping his dog, and then his dog comes floating in with a on a dog house.
Like
Yeah,
Snoopy.
yeah. So one thing I think we forgot to mention is, like when you thought the movie is over,
Yeah.
Shark got electrocuted. It now retains electricity.
Yeah, it's electric it's
Yeah. So
electric
when I
shark.
said it bit the boat and the boat started on fire, it's because it shocked the boat. So now that Wyatt's over here trying to get his dog, literally just swims past him and he starts electrocuting. And they're all, what is he doing? Why is he like sitting there like shaking?
He's just literally laying in the water, kind of floating there, just kind of like rolling his head back
Yeah.
and forth. It
And
didn't
then
even look like he was being electrocuted in water.
and
It
then the
was so
shark goes
stupid.
over and electrocutes somehow, like I don't know, touches the foot of Daisy or whatever. And this is
No,
the stupidest part.
she's using a TV antenna
Oh
trying to
yes.
reach into the water to
I
reach
thought that
for
was
her
the dumbest
boyfriend.
thing. Yeah.
And since it's metal, it touches the electric water. And yeah, I'll let you explain it.
But yeah, so she starts convulsing, like she's getting electrocuted too. And then
Yeah.
she starts twerking
Yeah.
and then doing like the sprinkler with her arm. Like she
Yep.
literally just
And
starts
then the third
fucking
dance, she did
dancing.
the Macarena.
Yeah. And
Yep. While
oh my
music played,
fucking god. Yeah.
and the Christmas lights on her apartment played in tune to the song.
It was so fucking stupid.
That was the scene that locked in my rating for me.
Well,
Like my dad got home from wherever he was, and he got home, and I went, "Hey, you need to come down and watch this scene really quick."
did
And
he
I made him
fucking
watch it, and he was like,
did he
"Oh
hate
my
it?
God." He
Yeah.
thought it was pretty silly, but
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought
But
it was
that's
very
because you
fun.
love bad movies, so that's fine. You're allowed to love it.
Oh my goodness, it was so funny.
And then I have a note here. I don't remember where it is. It really doesn't matter where it is. The fact it happened. So it might have been right there. So like while she's like electrocuted, twerking, whatnot, I think the other one yells. She goes, "Sweet Reba."
Yeah, I actually wrote that
Yeah,
down too. It's
so
right
funny.
after the guy is floating in the water and he gets eaten by the shark. Shark comes up right under him and eats him, and she goes, "Sweet Reba."
There's more to it, like "Sweet Reba, no, Jesus, no," or whatever. But yeah, "Sweet Reba." I thought that was hilarious.
I thought that was very funny too. Thomas Ian Nicholas, Rob, he goes to find Billie Jean, who is kind of the town weirdo. and she's sitting there. She found his watch from his grandfather, who he does not put up a fight whatsoever to get that watch back. But
Yeah,
she
he's
gives him
like,
an
"That's
oar,
my grandpa's watch. Can I have it?" And she's like, "Yeah, $200."
$50.
No, she goes, $200. You said town weirdo, so she goes $200, and he goes, "But it means like a lot to me." "Oh, it means a lot to you? Okay, $50." It's like, why'd the price go down? But okay.
So then he's like, "Well, you give me an oar, I'll forget about this the whole watch thing." And she's like, "All right." And then it was cool to see these two together because they were in American Pie together. They were the couple in American Pie. He was Kevin and she was Kevin's girlfriend, whose name I can't remember. So that was
You
cool.
gotta do your research before the podcast. There's literally so many times you go, "I don't know their name." Oh, I don't
Well, her
remember.
name's Tara Reid, but I don't remember her character in American Pie.
I know,
But
but if you did,
yeah. Well, she's Kevin's girlfriend. She's the one he eats out in her parents' house. So he ends up leaving with the oar. So she's got a gun,
okay, go ahead.
and she almost shoots Rob. He's like, "Yeah, don't worry about me. I got protection." Well, and literally not even like 2 minutes later, a shark shows up and just eats her.
Yeah.
And it was like, my note is so much for Tara Reid being a character, lol. Even though she's second build on the case. Like I know they did it just because they were in American Pie together. Like sci-fi does that shit all the time, but I just thought it was funny that she was literally in like one scene. My next note's LOL, the shark explodes the two water skis.
Where was that? What happened?
The two guys, they show up. So Daisy is alone now because the other two got eaten by the shark, and these two henchmen show up to kill her. They're like knock her
Oh
in the water,
yeah.
and run her over, and
Yeah,
she's
they're just
bleeding and
being
stuff.
bully.
They're being super dickheads.
Super
And
dickheads.
the one like goes to stab her, but the shark ends up eating the henchman, and then it bites both the jet skis, which Rob calls them ski-doos, and they explode. And I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I think he called them his, because Sea-Doo is a brand, right? There's
Oh, is it
Ski-Doos. Yeah,
ski-doos?
Ski-Doos
Oh, I didn't
are
know that.
Ski-Doos are snowmobiles, and Sea-Doos are basically water snowmobiles. Get it?
Ah, okay. Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, the more you know. Now it's back to the other people, the guy with the meat and whoever else is there. Not really important.
Rufus
But,
and Jolene.
they're like, "Hey, go and get your ribs out of the fridge." And he uses that as bait. And he goes, "But I was gonna save those ribs." And they're like, "For what?" And he's like, and he's super religious. And he's like, "Well, if God wanted me," and he's like, "If the good Lord wants me to get in this dirty water, blah blah blah." And they're like, "Do you see anyone coming to rescue us?" And he's like, "No." And he's like, "Do you hear any choppers?" "No." "Well, then get those ribs." So he goes down and gets the ribs, and he's like half in the water now, and he puts the ribs. This is just bad filming, in my personal opinion. He puts the ribs on like the lid of a cooler that floats, and he goes to like push it out into the water to like float away a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And when he pushes it, I'm fairly positive that the ribs fell off the
Into
cooler
the
lid.
water.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure it was an empty cooler lid after they were there, and he pushes and it like dips, and then it pans back, like changes scenes, and there it is, like floating out there with a rib on it. I'm like, mm-hmm. And then later, a little bit later, Rob goes over to grab the rib off, and there's two ribs on there now. I was just like, this is just horrible, just horrible.
Yeah, so they form a plan where Rufus is gonna use his like steering shaft or some shit as a hook, and they're gonna hook it with a chain and duct tape with the meat on the end of it and draw the shark in his bait, and they're gonna kill it. There's a funny little bit where Rufus is trying to use a rope to climb down his camper and it falls off and he falls into the water. So they're also using the beer
Kegs.
kegs, beer kegs that the guy with the meat had in his camper. And so Rob has to pour all the beer out so that they can use them to float. And so he's emptying all the beer into the river and he's like, "This one's for me. This one's for Uncle Jeff. This one's for all the people that died or whatever. This is for all my dead homies." And he starts pouring into the water as he says that. I thought that was a really funny line. "This one's for
Yeah,
all my dead homies."
and the whole time he's just like full on just letting the kegs go. He keeps just like
Like, yeah, tilting his head
just
down and taking sips.
hitting it. Yeah, like tons. And even his girlfriend at one point was like, "Yeah, just enjoying that over there." And he's like, "Well,
I mean, wouldn't you? I mean,
oh
you're
yes,
pouring it
in
out
a heartbeat."
anyways. So I
I'd
just be like,
try, I'd try to get the biggest buzz possible, and in the shark
yeah,
situation,
yeah, and you're fighting a shark. I'd be like,
yeah,
go. My next note is LOL Rufus was skiing the shark. And so basically, like Rufus falls into the water or whatever, and then he uses his hook to get the shark. The shark takes the bait and it pulls him on. I don't remember what he's standing on, but it starts pulling him.
nothing. You can water
And
ski with your feet. He's just,
okay.
yeah, he's just doing it.
So he's just barefooted. Well, he's in shoes, but he's just, yeah, on his feet, just skiing in the water. He's like, I'm skiing with a shark. And then the shark stops swimming and he falls in the water and the shark eats him. And Rufus,
Yeah,
not gonna lie, was my favorite character. It's sad to see him go.
yeah. Real quick, way back when you said barefoot, and it just reminded me of feet. Um, Boss Hog, the bad guy. He that's not his name. He
Decanard or whatever.
Sure. He was trying to get his henchmen to go kill, and he like told him a story. He goes, "Yeah, I got a story. I used to have 3 henchmen, and then they didn't really listen. They didn't really do what I wanted them to, and yeah, they don't work for me anymore." Dude goes, "What happened to him?" He puts his feet on the desk, and it zooms in on the boots, and they're all like patch mismatch, different colors, patch. Where like there's even like tattoos on it. Zooms in on the picture, and they had a tattoo on their arm. It's like he's wearing his old henchman as boots. That's crazy.
Oh my goodness, I didn't catch that. It's
Yeah,
fucked up.
yeah. He
Super
turned him.
fucked
He
up.
turned him into boots. Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. So, like you said, when they baited the shark, now there's this hook and chain down in his belly,
Yep.
and the kegs are to float as like bobbers, so they can see where he's going and everything. And then now that there's continuous chain, they can try to catch the chain.
Hmm.
And Rob realizes like, oh, if I get him to jump and hit this branch, it might like hang the shark a little. So he climbs up in the tree, and his girlfriend's like, no. He's like, just trust me. And so this part was funny. So he's like, he needs to bait the shark to jump up. So he's up in this tree and he just starts punching the crap out of a branch to try to get his knuckles to bleed. And I was just like, ouch. He's just like punching the tree.
It wouldn't
Uh,
hurt that bad because
it
you can
depends on
cut your
how hard you
knuckles pretty
punch.
good.
Yeah, but I was like, I would have just scraped, like take it and just like cheese grater the tree. But yeah, he was punching. I was like, you're gonna get broken bones for no reason, but whatever. And then shark jumps out of the water, like it was like on how sharks jump, but
Hmm.
then flipped midair, almost like a high jump, and then instantly the shark was wrapped up like I don't know 5 times. It was
Yeah,
the
it was wrapped around
stupidest.
all its fins, wrapped around its tail, wrapped
It
around its
was like it
torso.
was perfectly wrapped up to be constrained.
Yeah.
It was like okay, sure.
The shark ends up getting free from that and is chasing them in the boat again until Rob uses the wind turbine to hook the shark, and it just starts wrapping the shark up into the air, like on the wind turbine, and it's pulling the shark in the air. And he goes, "Oh, hold on, this will save us from the blood." And he turns the airboat around that they're using, and the wind turbine starts shredding the shark up into pieces and just starts spraying blood everywhere. And as it rains down, the fan boat just pushes all the blood away so that Rob and Jolene don't get any blood on them.
And it looked so fake and horrible.
And my note about that is WTF, even is this ending? OMG, ha 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 ha.
My note about that was, yeah, okay.
And also about the end, there's this subplot in the movie where they have to get the camera that has what they filmed with those bad guys on it back. But I love the way that Rob says GoPro. He says GoPro.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught that, but he goes, "I
Oh
gotta
yeah.
get my GoPro back."
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. It was a good time.
My last note, because
Go
right
for it.
after that happens with the blood and everything, like deep breath, cool. Like he got his GoPro, and they're just like cool, and like that's the end. Like they're like nice,
Their
and
lives
then
are ruined.
Trailer Park Shark comes on the screen in this neon pink and yellow like Miami Vice vibe, like
Oh yeah, it was very cool.
weird ass font, and I wrote the font dot lol. That's my note.
This is a good movie. What do you give this overall?
I give it a 2 because the 2 for me there was plenty of funny,
Yeah,
but
it was a very funny movie.
but for me when there's like the whole thing about the meat and like Just like really bad, like the hose rain. Like when there's just bad stuff, like in the previous movies that I give really low ratings, like the underwater scenes, like those are just
Yeah.
like horrible. So yeah, for me, many of these horrible scenes equals a low rating, which I'm not surprised by your rating. I know you're gonna say it soon, just because you like bad movies, so they
I
kind of like
loved this one.
so they jacked the score up for you, which is fine. But yeah, for
This
me, two
this one
stars.
was straight up my type of vibe. It was just silly enough, but also
Good.
serious enough, and they kind of knew what they were doing, and I liked it a lot. And I give this 4 out of 5 stars. It's my highest rating since Deep Blue Sea, and I just really liked this movie. I would watch this again, and it was fun. It was just really fun.
I think it's okay.
They should make a sequel. I want an entire franchise.
Well, you better get on your email and Twitter and get chatting, because I feel like
I
they won't unless you
will.
push. Do it.
Maybe I will.
Do it.
And speaking of email, I think people should email us.
Yeah, you guys should email us. Tell us if you've seen Trailer Park Shark or just live in a trailer park or like sharks. Our dads or brothers at gmail.com.
You should Google, like in House Shark, you should Google shark attacks in trailer parks.
Yes. All right. Well, until next time, I'm Nathan Tracy.
And I'm Bat Tracy. And our dads are brothers.
That they are. We should do this again sometime.
What?
Talk about shark movies.
Oh, that would be fun. I like shark movies.
How about next Shark Week next year?
Sure. I'm free, I think.
Sweet. Yeah, just write it down on your calendar. A year from now.
Shark Week 23.
Perfect.
All right, bye.
Bye. The Mega Millions is
Yeah,
now
it's to a billion.
1.01 billion.
I'm gonna win it.
I told Kaylee if I won, I would shit my pants. Like, I mean, like literally, like, uh, just like try. You're just like, oh well, I won.
I would shit my pants, and then I would go buy 100 pair of pants with the shit still in my old pants.
Purpose. I'd walk into Walmart and be like,
I just shit my pants.
I
and
shit
then
my.
love about it.
I would just tell. No, I wouldn't. I would never tell anyone I won. I wouldn't tell a soul.
You have to. I mean, you have to put it in the newspaper.
It depends on the state. Are you sure that Wisconsin that's law?
I have no idea.
Some states you can stay anonymous.
Well,